So today I want to talk about 50-day milestones. This is particularly relevant to me because of my running streak, but 50 days can be quite a nice amount of time for a milestone regardless. So if you're someone who sets goals and likes to reflect on periods of time, this could be quite a good one for you. So keep on watching, keep listening. Welcome back to consecutive day 1850 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today I'm talking all about 50-day milestones or 50-day periods of time and how you can use them to great effect, whether it's a running streak or just reflecting on periods of time. But before we get into that, please don't forget that this vlog is part of a fundraiser of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days of distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. And the more people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. So back to the topic at hand, 50-day milestones. So as always, this vlog is like my diary, and today it's 850 consecutive days, another 50-day milestone. Now, when you've done as much running on consecutive days as I have, 50 days isn't such a big period of time, and the 50-day milestones do come quite quick and fast, but that still doesn't mean they should be celebrated any less. I mean, 50 days, put it in perspective, is 7 weeks, or very nearly 2 months. So it's still quite a considerable amount of time. And when you think of consecutive daily running, so to speak, it's a considerable amount of time, because a lot of people have never run every day for a week, let alone a month, let alone 7 weeks, or 7 weeks and 1 day to be exact. It's a significant amount of time. Now, a lot of businesses and strategic kind of plans in life generally follow the 90-day principle, or the 90-day sprints, or the quarterly principle. So break a year into quarters or 90-day chunks, and that is kind of a period of time that you allow yourself to hit targets, because it's not too far in the distance, but it's far enough to make a considerable impact in whatever you're trying to achieve. But and I do stick to the 90-day principle, I do like it, but I just thought today, because I celebrate 50-day milestones, it's quite nice to reflect upon things over the last 50 days, because 50 days is still a considerable period of time. A lot can happen in 7 weeks in your life, or you can achieve a lot in 7 weeks when you look at it. Well, put it in perspective, marathon training plans for me are 8 weeks in terms of 8-week training blocks. So it's almost a full training block for a marathon. And any of you who have done a marathon in their life and have done a training plan, it's more often than not you might have done a 16-week or a 12-week plan, depending on how experienced you are as a runner. But as a minimum, you'd want to do an 8-week training block. So, and those of you who train for that period of time, it can be the difference between a PB or not. So you can make a significant impact over a kind of a 50-week or an 8-week period. So it's definitely a milestone worth celebrating or kind of using, especially if you find that 90 days is just a little bit too far and takes a little bit too long to come around, and you rather work in smaller chunks. Then 50 days can work quite nicely. But ultimately today is it's another 50 days of consecutive daily running, so I should be very thankful. Although I think within the last 50 days, so to speak, I hit the 5-year anniversary, which was obviously a huge milestone for me. So that kind of puts this one into a little bit insignificance really, but the reality is it's still 50 days and it's still a significant block of time, especially when you're running every single day. It's been I would say an easier 50 days, absolutely, the last 7 weeks, as we're basically, that would have covered most of May and most of June, really. That's where it's fallen, and we've been quite fortunate with the weather. It's been a lot of kind of nicer weather to run in. But when I look at kind of the last 50 days. I ran Edinburgh Marathon as well, so that's quite a considerable achievement. I ran Manchester 4 weeks before that, but that's out of the last 50-day block. So yeah, a lot has happened in these last 50 days, and just goes to show it is a significant portion of time. And I look back and reflect, and this is the nice period of running. We've just passed summer solstice now, so in actual fact the daylight hours are getting smaller already, which is a little bit alarming. But the last 50 days have been nice because the days have stretched out, the weather's been good, and running isn't so much a chore when you get nice running conditions. Certainly heat can be a bit of an issue with endurance events, but for kind of my daily runs, I quite enjoy running out in the sun. It's much more enjoyable than wrapping up to run in freezing cold temperatures of the winter. Another thing I haven't talked about is over Running Festival. In the last 50 days, I've done a marathon in Edinburgh, and I've also done over Running Festival, which is a 50k ultra marathon or 24-hour ultra marathon in 5k laps. I chose to just do the minimum, which was 50 kilometers, because I don't feel the need to push myself any further than that, especially with running every day. Thoroughly enjoyable event, and so yeah, in the last 50 days, an ultra marathon and a marathon. Not bad going really. So yeah, it's just to highlight today. I think the learnings from my diary is that sometimes in life, you know, it's pretty common knowledge that a lot of people will work in 90-day sprints or quarterly sprints for targets and objectives in life and in business, and that's kind of been quite a traditional practice now for many years. But sometimes that can be quite a long time. It's 3 months. It takes a long time to come past. Sometimes you'd like to work a little bit more kind of closer and a bit more malleable with your target. 50 days is not a bad interval. It's just over 7 weeks, and it just feels close enough to be a month, but long enough to make a significant kind of difference in terms of what you're trying to achieve. And when I look back on the last 50 days of this running streak, I'm on day 1,850 today. You know, I've run a marathon, I've run an ultra marathon. There's lots of things that have happened in my personal and business life. A lot good, some not so good, but it's a significant portion of time, which is what I'm trying to explain. And there's no kind of one size fits all. If you find that 90-day sprints aren't working for you, why don't you try reducing it down and possibly trying something like, you know, 50 days, 60 days, or maybe 7 weeks or whatever. It can be a lot more kind of bite-sized, and if you need to kind of pivot and kind of be dynamic in your kind of goals and objectives, certainly in early days, the kind of shorter the time frame, sometimes that gives you more flexibility. So that's it from me anyway. Any questions or comments, hope you find it useful, drop me a line. I'll respond to anything relevant. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon and run blogging on consecutive days, a distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people get in front of, more ways. It's Mr. Marsh. How are you, mate?
Evening.
Hello. Off on your run, Marsh. He's on, how many days are you on?
1,200 and something.
12 and something. Well, Marsh is on a running streak as well, so 1,200 days, pretty good. I'm on day 1,850 today, so powerhouse.
On the way back?
We need to catch up about over Running Festival this week. Yeah, drop me a line, yeah? I'll see that, mate. Yeah, and you always see people on your runs, which is always quite pleasant. So, yeah, hope you find it useful. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.